Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today we're going to take a look at the new and improved for 2023 Custom Gear Modification Sidewinder saddle that I happen to be sitting in right now. I think it was about 2 years ago that I made my first review of the original CGM Sidewinder, and ever since then, that saddle, the original Sidewinder, has been one of my go-to saddles and one of my favorite saddles to hunt out of over the last couple of seasons. And Jerry over at CGM was kind enough to send me out the new and improved for 2023 Sidewinder. And so I want to show you some of the updates that they've made to this saddle. Now, if you haven't seen that original review, I would encourage you to go watch it because for the most part, this is the same saddle and a lot of that information is still going to be relevant. And I mostly want to cover some of the changes that have taken place for 2023. All right, so let's talk about the changes between the original Sidewinder and the 2023 Sidewinder. Before I get into it, I do just want to mention that on the original Sidewinder, you could order in several different sizes, but unless you asked for something custom, there really weren't any options or add-ons that were just available by just clicking a button on the website. Now with the 2023 model, I do believe there are several upgrades that you can get just by selecting it in a drop-down menu, and some of those are going to be paid upgrades. So just be aware that even some of the features on this saddle probably were paid upgrades. Now, the base model of this saddle is $190, which I think is pretty affordable. Some of those upgrades are going to add a few extra dollars to the cost. The very first thing that I want to address about the new Sidewinder is the waist belt. And the reason I'm addressing that first is because on the original Sidewinder, in my review, I had the Amsteel waist belt option. It was a really clever design. It was very lightweight and it kept the saddle affordable, but I did have some problems with it slipping and I'd have to add an extra knot to get it to hold in place. As far as I know, that Amsteel belt is not even available as an option anymore, and now there are two options. One is this rope belt that's on my 2023 edition, and it simply uses a friction hitch. You pull it up and it holds tight. And I've used this style of belt before and I've had no issues with it at all. Now eventually I did replace the Amsteel belt on my original saddle, and this is the other option that CGM offers, and this is the Alpine Buckle, I think it's called. And this is not like a Raptor buckle that has like a quick disconnect, you squeeze and it pops out. That's not what this is. This is something very lightweight and inexpensive and yet still climbing rated. This is going to be really strong. Super easy to adjust. Pull it like that. Just pull the tag in and it's tight. Pull it out like that and you can loosen it up. And if you do want to unbuckle it, you just slip the one end down through the other end and it's completely unbuckled. And of course you can just put it back through to buckle it back up. And so it's very easy to use. Personally, I think I prefer this belt a little bit over the rope belt. It's thinner and flatter against my body as opposed to having that big friction hitch knot right in my stomach. But you really can't go wrong with either one of these belt options, and both of them I think are an improvement over the original Amsteel belt. Now the next thing that you're going to notice on the 2023 Sidewinder that's probably the biggest change is that the shape has changed. So on the original one, the right here between your bridge loop was really kind of tight and it had that, let's call it the football shape. All right. And now what they've done is they've opened up this end a little bit and then they've added this strap here, which they call the bridge gap adjuster, I believe. And so you can pull this strap down and you can basically give it that football shape if you want to, or you can open it up and you can give it a little bit different feel. Now, I really appreciate this. It's versatility added into a saddle. If you want that football shape, you can get it. Just pull that strap down. And I do like that shape. But I've also found that sometimes just playing around with this strap can really provide a little bit additional comfort or just a change of pressure as I've been in the tree for a while. So I think this is a great improvement on the 2023 model. Now, another thing that's different on this model than my original, which I do think is a paid upgrade, is this extra row of MOLLE right here. So you get the one row right here, which is sort of the snake skin looking MOLLE right here, but then below this right here, there's an extra row of MOLLE. So that's two full complete MOLLE rows. If you like to attach stuff to your saddle, you got plenty of room to do it on this one. Now, one thing I liked about the original saddle that was really, I was a big fan of it, is that you had these extra loops. So you've got your bridge loop here, you've got your lineman loop here, and then you have these extra loops where the end of the webbing was brought around and made into a loop. And I loved using this just to clip on carabiners through my Madrock Safeguard there. You could use it to carry sticks up, all kinds of things. And if you do get this extra row of MOLLE, you get an extra loop. So in addition to your alignments and your bridge, you've got 3 extra loops on each side to carry extra gear. Now another option on the 2023 Sidewinder are these additional gear carrying straps. So what you're going to see is there's a plastic buckle here and the top side is sewn directly into the saddle. And then you get the extra strap and the male side of the buckle as well. And so you can hook this to a platform, you can hook it to sticks, you can hook it to whatever it is that you need to carry up the tree, and it's a really nice addition. This is sewn directly in. You're not going to worry about it coming out. Now on my saddle, I've got one right here on the bottom, and it's on the right-hand side. But I do believe you can ask for more than one, and you can tell them exactly where you want them positioned on your particular saddle. Now, if it was up to me, I'd probably put one on both sides to carry a stick up on each hip, and then I'd put one directly in the middle on the back to carry up my platform. I do believe Jerry told me that you can also purchase these separately, and then they are set up just to go in any molly on any particular saddle that you already have, whether it's a Sidewinder or another saddle, and you can move them around then. But again, I do believe those are a paid upgrade, not something that's going to come with the base model. Now, another change here that's a very minor change that makes a huge difference in the tree is there is a very small little tender right here on your bridge. So now that bridge adjustment is going to be one-handed. I really, really like it. It's very simple. It's a little strap with 2 D-rings on the end of it. It's quiet, it's light, no extra weight, but it makes a huge difference when you're trying to adjust that bridge. Now, speaking of the bridge, another thing that I noticed is that on my 2023 model, the bridge is extremely long. Now, I tend to like a very long bridge, and I usually run it out pretty much as long as it goes, but this is a lot longer than probably any other saddle that I own. And if you compare it to the original Sidewinder, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is a good bit longer. Now, I don't know if I just happened to get a longer rope on mine than normal. Maybe somebody just cut it long in the process, or if this is normal, I don't really know. But if you like a long bridge, you can get it on a Custom Gear Modification Sidewinder. All right, so I believe that about covers all the major changes to the Custom Gear Modification Sidewinder for 2023. CGM is a veteran-owned and operated company, and all of their products are made right here in the United States. If you purchase a saddle from them, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with your purchase. Let me know what you think of the saddle and this video down in the comments, and until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.